Maximus is known by a number of titles: the Greek, the philosopher, or the Hagiorite, referencing his homeland, his learning, and the holy mountain of Athos respectively. He was born as Michael Trivolis in 1475 in Greece. He had a very good education, studying in Bologna, Venice, Padua, and Florence, where he studied ancient languages, ecclesiastic and philosophical works. He entered the Dominican monastery of St. Mark, and he had the teaching post at the Florentine University. He was greatly influenced by the tactful and restrained sermons of Friar Girolamo Savonarola. When Savonarola was burnt at the stake for heresy, it was Maximus himself who gathered up his ashes. In 1507, St. Maximus left the Dominicans and took up monastic vows in the Vatopedi monastery of the Holy Mountain of Athos. Sometime later, the Grand Prince of Russia, Basil III, asked for a learned monk to correct some of the religious translations. The Grand Prince asked for a very specific monk, but as that monk was told to travel, Maximus was selected instead. Thus, St. Maximus went to Russia to help improve the translations of Russian liturgical books. And we all know what happens when you tamper with Russian liturgical books. It never ends well. St. Maximus had no knowledge of Church Slavonics, but that didn't stop him from spearheading the reforms. He arrived to Russia in 1518 and was welcomed by the Grand Prince with great honor. St. Maximus was astonished to see that the prince owned a huge library of Greek works. However, things were about to change for poor Maximus. Maximus couldn't keep silent about the different abuses he witnessed at the court, most notably the abuse of serfs by the nobles. He also took a part in a controversy that was all the rage in Moscow at the time, that is, whether monasteries should own land and riches. He aligned strongly to the non-possessor camp. Sadly, the possessor faction won, and that spelled doom for Maximus. Having already earned himself the enmity of certain influential persons, especially the newly elected Metropolitan Daniel, Maximus was condemned as a heretic by a council assembled especially in his honor. He was accused, based on his somewhat faulty translations, that he did not believe in the Holy Trinity. For his alleged crimes, St. Maximus would spend over 23 years in different prisons, tortured, on the verge of starvation, deprived of quill and inkwell, and, the most horrible of all, and what pained him the most, being denied the most holy Eucharist. He languished for so long in the dungeon. Once his arch-nemesis, Metropolitan Daniel, died, his punishments were lessened, in part due to the other patriarchs vouching for him, and he was allowed to write and preach. Daniel himself was ousted from his office, and it was Maximus himself who comforted him with his letters, forgiving him everything. The Russian Tsar finally freed Maximus from the chains. However, knowing far too much about Russia, he was deemed too dangerous to return to his cherished holy mountain, and he gave up his holy soul to the Lord in 1554, in the Trinity Laura of St. Sergius. What is the message that we can learn from this wonderful martyr of the Eucharist? That nobody likes a grammar Nazi. Hello everyone, in the pinned comments and in the description there is a link to Draganac Monastery. Draganac Monastery is found in Kosovo and it supports a large number of families around it. If you wish to help the monastery, the monks and the families that it supports, if you're so inclined, please feel free to order something from the monastery. It has a wonderful selection of handmade products and holy objects, so that when your devout Baptist father barges in your room and sees you covered in a cloud of incense and he says, "What the hell is this?" you just reply with, "Oh, it's from Draganac Monastery," and he'll say, sorry, okay, sorry. At least check it out. What harm can it do? Bye!